Please consider liking the video and subscribing. Let's begin. It's been a while since I've done a versus video, and while I was thinking about who I should make fight each other, it hit me. Two characters that are very powerful. Infinity Ultron, an evil machine that wants to end all life and achieve eternal peace no matter the cost. And Alien X, a very powerful god who has unimaginable power and also has morals of their own. I want to see who would win if, let's say, Infinity Ultron went into the Ben 10 universe, and Ben obviously needed to stop him. No other alien would do the job, only Alien X. So, could Infinity Ultron treat this universe like any other? Let's find out.
So many universes, so much chaos. They need to be silenced.
A machine created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. We all know that Ultron in the MCU failed to kill the Avengers and fuse his mind and body with Vision. In Avengers Age of Ultron, he had a mission to end all organic life on Earth. To achieve true peace, he believes that can only happen if all humans are dead. But he is defeated by the Avengers and is locked out of the net by Vision. Ultimately, Ultron is killed by Wanda. But in this episode of What If, it asks the question, what if Ultron won? In this fantastic dark look into this episode, we see just how grim this could have been. Ultron kills the Avengers and fuses with Vision, collecting the Infinity Stones and making quick work of Thanos, who sliced them up like a piece of cheese. He kills all of humanity. From here, he turns his attention to the universe. He successfully kills all life in the process. As he is floating in space, feeling no purpose to live, he is ready to end his own life, but he hears a voice that is narrating everything he is doing. He then sees the Watcher and the entire multiverse. From here, he realizes that his mission is not over. He has to exterminate all life throughout every single multiverse. Okay, so we know Infinity Ultron is really evil, but who has dared to fight him? Like I mentioned, the Watcher was the first of the multiverse to fight him. While he did land a couple of good hits and some nice combos, ultimately Infinity Ultron got the better of him, overpowering him and beating him up in many multiverses. Kind of embarrassing. If the Watcher had not escaped and Ultron was going to squish his head, then the Watcher would not be able to watch anymore. During their fight, Ultron grew to an insane height and was able to take a bite out of a galaxy. That alone is very scary and also really cool. The Watcher recruits the Guardians of the Multiverse in an effort to stop the evil machine, and at first their fight goes their way. They manage to hold off Ultron and even bring in zombie Wanda, who was really powerful in her universe, but was nothing when going head to head with him. But because of Ultron's genius, just when it looked like the fight was over, he faked his death and emerged even more powerful. It looked like the Guardians have lost, but in the end, an arrow left on the ground, possessing Dr. Zolot's digital conscious, was perfectly shot, and with the help of Captain Carter, they uploaded his virus into Ultron's mind. Dr. Zola almost immediately took over his mind and possessed his body. In doing so, he deleted Infinity Ultron and ended his mass genocide. So, we've looked at Ultron's origin stories and fights, but what about powers and abilities? What does he possess? Well, he possesses all 6 Infinity Stones, granting the powers of time, reality, having immense power, soul, space, and mind. If he wasn't already OP, and on top of the fact that he's insanely intelligent, being able to control any sort of piece of technology because of the reality stone, he can generate basically an infinite number of robots to help him in battle. His armor is highly durable, never breaking or piercing because it's made of vibranium. On top of all that, he is able to manipulate gravity in his surrounding area and on his opponent and opponents. He matches the strength, even surpassing those around him, mostly everybody. The stamina he possesses is unlimited, never needing to stop to rest or recover. Since he's a machine, he can fight forever. His reaction time is also impressive, dodging and blocking most of Mjolnir's cloned attacks, surviving everything the Guardians were throwing at him. In their first matchup, despite him only having 5 Infinity Stones, he was still able to not only eliminate zombies and Wanda, but also blowing up an entire planet in the process. Despite him being somewhat of a god, he still does have weaknesses. Like I mentioned earlier, he was defeated by a virus containing Dr. Zola's mind. Some could also say that he relies on the stones too much. Yes, it's true, Ultron does in fact use the stones many times during combat. You could also say his armor is highly durable, being able to survive crazy attacks from his enemies. If he is separated from his stones, then slowly, one by one, he will be losing his power. And if all of his stones are gone, then he's just Vision, who, don't get me wrong, is powerful, but nowhere near his previous level. From there on out, he can easily be defeated. So, we all know about Infinity Ultron and just how evil he is, but what if during his mass multiversal genocide he stumbled into one universe, where a certain powerful alien is possessed under a kid? That's right, we looked at Ultron's side of things, but let's look at Alien X's powers and abilities. So what is Alien X? Alien X is the Omnitrix's DNA sample of a Celestial Sapien. Now, if you don't know what a Celestial Sapien is, it's a race of extremely powerful beings who can control reality at will. Alien X has the appearance of a person who is solid black with star spots all over his body, but his mind is not one. He has a combined consciousness of 3 people. First, Serena, who is the voice of love and compassion. The second is Bellicus, who is the voice of rage and aggression. And finally, Ben 10, who is the voice of reason. All 3 together form Alien X. He possesses many powers and abilities, the first being able to control reality, time, and space with ease. Sound familiar? But what makes him unique is that even his thoughts can become real. Anything he thinks of doing, he can actually do. He's almost nearly indestructible. He survived an entire universe being destroyed around him. This is because he is separated from the actual universe itself. That's just some really OP traits right there. Like a god, Alien X can create and recreate universes at will, being able to control time at his will as well. He can also control minds of those around him. Look, there's just so much that this guy can do that I'm going to run down the list here, because if I go into crazy detail, we can be here for a long time. Shapeshifter, teleport, duplicate, regeneration, skilled in hand-to-hand combat, but one of his coolest moves is that he can create miniature black holes. That sounds so freaking cool. So we know his powers and abilities, but who has he actually used it against? Who has he actually fought? Well, one of his most powerful opponents was a being like him, another celestial sapien named Galactic Gladiator, who, like Alien X, shared most of his powers and abilities. But other than that, he hasn't fought anyone who's even on the same level as him, I guess until now. Despite him being basically a god, he does have weaknesses. Because of his shared consciousness, nothing can be done unless they all agree to do something, and even that is a task, because Serena and Bellicus have always argued on what to do for basically an eternity. Another weakness is that depending on what universe Alien X is in, if he's not compatible enough with it, then he will not be at full power. If he is somewhat compatible, then he could be limited on what he could do. Those are his biggest weaknesses coming into this fight, but let's find out. Could Alien X defeat Infinity Ultron and save his universe, or will Ultron destroy all life in this universe? Let's go through the first scenario. Infinity Ultron has become aware of the multiverse. With the Guardians of the Multiverse dead and the Watcher, there's no one to stop him. He manages to step into Ben 10's universe. Beginning his conquest, Ben 10 senses this evil and such power. He skips all the other aliens and goes to the strongest one, Alien X. If the two were to fight in Ben 10's universe, then Alien X has a fair chance. Instantly, Infinity Ultron would be amazed seeing such power, but ultimately in the end, during this whole fight, it would just be Alien X and Infinity Ultron with everyone else dead in this universe. Ben 10 would be angry. It's safe to assume the voices would agree that Ultron would need to die. If Alien X were to throw multiple black holes at Ultron, Ultron could easily dodge them and use his Infinity Stones against Alien X, but because we're in the Ben 10 universe, X would imagine that the stones have no power, and they wouldn't. Ultron would be surprised. Realizing the stones are useless, he would then get up close to Alien X. In terms of combat, I'd say X is still very skilled, just because of the age. Ultron was created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. Yes, he can fight, but compared to X, who is much older than the universe itself, he has way more experience. Ultron would be thwarted immediately. I mean, if he was getting bodied by the Guardians of the Multiverse and they're just normal heroes, what do you think would happen if he were to fight basically a trillion-year-old alien who has fought many? Scenario 1 goes to Alien X. Now, what if things were different? Scenario 2. The Watcher barely escaping Ultron's grasp, and with the death of the Guardians of the Multiverse, he realizes that he needs someone more powerful. He goes to the Ben 10 universe. Why? I don't know, just for the sake of this video, it makes sense, and asks for his help. Needing the strongest alien, Ben 10 agrees, and the two go to Ultron's current universe and confront him. Now, because we're outside of the Ben 10 universe, Alien X will not be as powerful, as we know that when he's not in his own universe, his powers are unlimited, but Ultron's are not. We see Ultron, while fighting the Guardians of the Multiverse, he was able to use the stones, and he himself explained how stones can't be destroyed. If they were to meet in another universe, like I said, then Ultron would win this fight, because he's not limited like Alien X is. If somehow Alien X is compatible with this universe, then he could muster up some of his powers, but he wouldn't be as powerful as he could be. Ultron would realize this and would kill Alien X, but I don't think immediately, because he is still highly invulnerable. I think throughout time, Alien X would get worn out and ultimately fall to Ultron. Finally, in this last scenario, let's say they are in a neutral space, where both their powers work and are at full capacity. Adding on to this, what if Ultron got even more buffed up? What if he got a hold of Hellas Crown and Excelsior? With these items, could Alien X be defeated at full power? Well, in my opinion, if these two were to fight in this type of space, then this would not only end the universe, but just destroy all of time, space, matter, everything. Imagine, Ultron, already immense power, add on even more immense power than Alien X, who's just a straight up god. I believe this battle will not have a winner. Both powers would just collide and go on forever. One isn't more powerful than the other in a natural universe. Alien X might even have an edge, but because Ultron can use his stones and other abilities, it can literally go on forever. Let me know down below what you think of this scenario. Some people might agree with me, others might oppose me. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking this video and subscribing. Also, thank you for the amazing channel support we have gained. We've gained so many subscribers in such a short amount of time. Thank you so much for that. Also, let me know down below what other characters you'd like to see me break down and analyze. Who'd win in a fight? Anyway, thanks again, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.